All right. Well, looks like we're going to be taking a little bit of a side track and really just kind of upgrading some of the cards that we have. We have two sets of max gold, as well as a. Oof, it's kind of, you can't even see it with the thing here. Let me see if I can switch the camera. We have two sets of maximum gold, as well as one of the 2014 megatins. So we'll be opening up both of these, or all three of these, for today's video, and really just trying to see what card we can get. There is a card that we do need out of here, but really all we're doing is kind of just giving one of our Tiger King, one of the more faithful cards of the deck, a good face lift. So we'll be upgrading him and giving him a platinum rare, so that way we can use him for our deck. But for the most part, again, most of the stuff in here is really just going to stay the same. If we do get the card that we are really looking for, which is kind of just a barrier statue, then that's going to be going into the main deck. But other than that, like I said, most of the stuff that we do need, we kind of already have, and I'm not really looking forward to opening up the rest of those Phantom Rages. Oh boy, those Tri-Brigade cards are going to drive me crazy. Anyway, here is our upgraded Platinum Rare Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. We'll open him up in a sec. I'm just going to take out all of the cards out of the sets here, and I low-key really just needed an empty tin, so that's why we're kind of just doing this right now. So I'll be opening up the max gold, and then I'll lay out all of the packs, so that way we can have our chance to open up and see what's inside. Alright, so we're back, and we got our packs of maximum gold right here. We also have our packs of the Mega Tin. I'm going to just move the camera a tad bit closer so that way we can kind of just see all of the cards here. So, here we go. We got some Mega Tin cards, and we got some of this. And where did I just put... Oh yeah, that's right, he's over here. So, let's open up some of the Mega Tins, and then we'll see what else we get out of here. I feel like there are some other cards that we possibly could have used back in earlier sets, but for the most part, most of the stuff in here we're really not going to be able to run with. Mystic Tree, Buginity, Scramble, Wind Rose, the Elemental Lord. This is a Wing Beast card. By having 5 wind monsters in your graveyard, cannot be special summoned. This card special summon, destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls. Oh, that's an interesting looking card. Battling Boxer, Magnum Shield, Secret Duo, Lance, Battling Boxer, Spara. We are given 3 Mega Tin packs here, but again, most of the cards that we could have used in here, we really don't need anymore. I think the only other card we really could have used would have been what was it? The fire, it's like the Coach Soldier Wolfbark, right? Bujin Yamato, Spellbook of Judgment, Sylvan Blade Fender, Gorgonic Guardian. We have Baby Raccoon, Jiangxi, Gorgonic Gargoyle, and then a Sylvan card. Really interesting. This is one of like another one of the Megatins that like I really didn't get the chance to go into, mainly because I wasn't playing Yu-Gi-Oh around this time, or I wasn't playing it, I guess, as seriously as I'm playing it now. Ooh, we actually got the other card here, Susano, but we can't even summon him, so it's like, why do we even have this? Armides, Sacred Sword of the 7 Stars, and we got Exilak Kujaku, Stealth Ray, Sylvan Blessing, and Ghost Trick Witch. So we're not running Bujin, so we can't really use any of those. On to the maximum gold cards in here. There really is only one card that we're looking for, and it's the Barrier Statue. If we end up pulling it, then that will be good for us. So let's see what we got. Noble Knight Pelennor, Medolce Chateau, Harpy's Pet. We have a Ghost Reaper, and as well as a... I'm going to let the plane go by. We have a Ghost Reaper, a Utopia, and a upgrade possibly to a Linkuriboh. Although I don't think that we were running Linkuriboh in the deck at all. That might be a good card to have now, since we're running with the, what is it? The Tri-Brigade Noval, Dragon's Mirror, Starlight Junction, Blade Master. We have a Cosmo Dark Destroyer and a Martial Metal Marcher, as well as Tachyon Dragon. Again, the only card that we're really looking for in here is Barrier Statue. If we don't pull it, then it's not like, you know, the end of the world, but it would be a nice card to have. Noble Knight Drystrand, Chaos Dragon. Hey, there we go. Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. Good. We got 2 of the cards that we needed. Infinity Mirage, Lady Debug, and a Storming Mirror Force. We already have the 2 cards. I guess I might as well open up this as well, just to get kind of this out of the way since we're here. Let's see what other cards would be in this set. Our Platinum Rare. Oof, shiny. This is basically Starlight Rares. If anybody tells you anything different, right, they're telling you dead wrong. But this is basically Starlights. Like, I don't know why people don't like these. I'm just like, you know what? The only difference is that the Starlights have the black part also highlighted there. Gorilla and a Nightmare Shark. Can't really use either of those cards. But we do have, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets, 5 more cards out of here. If we pull an Imperm, that could also be really good, as well as like another Ash Blossom. Those cards, those types of cards would actually be really, really cool to see. Anyway, we got an Honor Arc Dark, Beatrice, Miracle Contact, Heartbeast Pet Phantasmal, Martial Metal Marcher, Impala, and Hey Trunade to ring out that. And then we finally have our last 4 here. I feel like the other cards that are like worth stuff are, what is it? It's the Blue Eyes White Dragon, of course, the Ash Blossom. I don't know, I don't think Nibiru got reprinted in this set, but if it did, then that might be another card. Solemn Judgment, really good. Maybe we can run it. Madolche Knights, Lost Turn, Nibiru, never mind, look at that. And I just, wow, okay. We were thinking about taking this card out, but you know what? Since we have 2 of them, now we might have to keep that in there. That actually might be a good card to have now in our side deck. We'll hold on to that for a second, depending on what the current meta is playing. Number 87, Whitestone of Legends, Forbidden Chalice, Morning Star, Dark Rebellion, Exceed Dragon, and then we have DD Warrior Lady, as well as a Silent Honor Arc. Unfortunately, we're not running Honor Arc anymore in our decks, so that's pretty much what it is. But we are going to kind of just move forward with just the exceeds that we do have. Mistaken Accusation after Transmigration, Machine Dupe, Transcode, Rusty Bardiche, House Dragon Maid, and a Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Buffalo. And then finally, to end off our packs for today, let's see what we got. We have a Night Beam, followed by a Parlor Dragon Maid, Lose 1 Turn, Barrier Statue of the Rocks, we have a 7th, and then we have Mage Power, and then Barrier Statue of the Abyss. It seems like this was the Barrier Statue set. We actually made out pretty good now that I look at some of the cards that we got. Getting the Gold Nibiru really helps out because we'll be able to kind of just like really just pop off with some of the combos, or not some of the combos, but really stop our opponent. Brotherhood the Firefist Tiger King alongside with Barrier Statue means that the only card that we are now needing is the Samorg Link, so that way we can kind of just combo off into that. But not bad for a full set. And of course now we have an empty tin, so I can start putting some extra cards in there. That way I can just move some of my storage over. But that's pretty much going to be it for all of the pack opening stuff. Like I said, not really many big changes to the deck itself. Instead, most of what we have and most of the edits now are going to be more cosmetic, I would say, until we do get some more Phantom Rage, where we're going to be opening up the rest of the Tri-Brigade cards. So that's going to be it here for episode 6, at least for the pack opening part. Let's see what else we have in store for you. Alright, so let's take a look at where the deck is now. Now that we're at episode 6, there are some upgrades that I did make to this deck, just to kind of keep it up to date with what we are dealing with in the current metagame. So we've taken out all the other copies of our 10 keys, so now we're down to just the 1. We're still running our 3 visits, just to kind of circumvent that loss of the extra 2 10 keys. We might end up switching one of those out for another Tensu, but I'll have to see how I really feel going forward. There's also a lot of Ancient Warriors that we've taken out of the deck, but I think that as the deck starts to transform more into a Tri-Brigade build, we're going to see more and more of that kind of happen regularly. So let's run through what we have so far. We got Valiant Zhang De, Zhang Yuan, our triple Sunmos, triple Reborn Tengu, and this is really going to help out for the link sort of like chaining that we're going to be doing once we have all of the other Tri-Brigade monsters. We're still running Zhou Gong and 2 Liu Xuans instead of 3. We've also cut out Lu Jing as opposed to having some spell and trap removal. I also took out Guan Yun, which I might switch out with Zhang De, but we'll have to see what we decide to do. I feel like Zhang De at the time is a little bit more useful just because he kind of like goes toward the end boards, but overall, maybe the switch out might actually happen. We're running the 1 Zhuge Kang, and I think that he will remain at 1 as long as we are able to really just search him out. I don't really think that we need to add anything else instead of him. What I might change up is the Firefist Ravens and put a 3rd one in just to help us get that 10 key if we don't. However, again, like I said, once we get the Tri-Brigade cards, we really won't need more than one 10 key. And we might actually end up taking these two and the Tensu out if we have like all fractals and kits and Karas and so on and so forth. We're still running some hand traps, but we do need to increase this amount. We have the 2 Ash Blossoms, and when we get to the side deck, you'll see what we have more in store for that. Moving on to some of the extra cards, Fabled Cerbalol is still going to stay. Still a really good card for discarding, and it might come more in handy if we end up taking out our Cosmic Cyclones for Twin Twister, but it also really works once we get Tri-Brigade Karas, because then we'll be able to activate its effect once it's sent as a cost. And then finally, our first Tri-Brigade monster that's in the main deck is our Tri-Brigade Nerval. I'll run through the spells because not really much has changed aside from taking out, again, as I mentioned, the 2 Tenkeys. So we got the 1-for-1, the triple Dark Ruler no more, 1 Monster Reborn, 2 Cosmic Cyclone called by the grave. Still running Super Poly because we still have fusions. Until we get enough of the Tri-Brigade monsters, the fusions have to stay. Tensu, the 3 visits, as I mentioned before, Borrowing of Arrows, and the 1 Tenkey. We've whittled down the traps down to 4 cards, and I think once we get Blazing Vortex, or is it Phantom Rage? I'm not sure. There's one set that Tri-Brigade Revolt comes in. We'll switch out probably the Defense of Changban, but aside from that, we have the 2 Imperms. Again, nothing's really changed for the extra deck. We did get that new Tiger King rarity, so that will actually be our main card in there. We also finally, again, have our 2 Tri-Brigade Link monsters, so if we pull 2 more, then we'll be able to put another Shuriken. I don't think I'll add another Rugal, just because I don't think he's really that useful at anything other than 1. Finally, we have our Eagle, Cerberus, Hulk, Daruma, and our Almiraj. The only one that's probably going to get taken out of here, actually the only 2 are probably going to be Cerberus and Eagle, depending on what we get. Again, once we get the Tri-Brigade links, I'll most likely be taking out Cerberus, and I'll hopefully be able to finally take out these 4, which will then in turn give me 2 other cards. And all of these, really, the side deck cards, aside from the fusions, are all really good because we're basically just going to switch out any cards that we really don't need. So we have our double Nibiru, double Gameciel, 1 Pank, double Skullmeister. We did pull the Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds, but it is kind of useless until we get the Samorg link, so that's going to be that. We still have our double Effect Veiler, Saryusha, just because it's a good link 4. Until access code becomes available, which I did hear finally that it is in the gold El Dorado whatever set. I was going to say Megaton, but it's not a Megaton. But we do have the option to finally switch him out for something that's better. Maybe I'll even switch out Borreload, but we'll see. If I can get a Boral Sword, that would be awesome. Pot of Desires and Ingen are going to finish out the spells, and then finally our Royal Decree for our trap cards if we ever want to remove traps. So that's the main point of the deck. Like I said, not many changes, but it is finally currently up to date with the current metagame. We do have the 1 Tenkey. It does give us a little bit of a slowdown, but eventually once we get more and more Tri-Brigade cards, we should be all set. So deck aside, let's finally get into some duels. So our first duel here is up against Dark Magicians, and it's interesting because we really need to upgrade this deck a lot more. And you'll see exactly what I mean. Mainly, the biggest thing that I'm noticing is that while the deck is getting a lot of the cards that it needs on the other front, such as the side deck, the extra deck, there really aren't enough main card decks to kind of like work in this interim. Right now, we have a low number of Ancient Warrior cards, but we also have a very, very low number of main deck Tri-Brigade monsters as well. So we're not able to really go into any of our Synchros, we're not able to go into any of our Link monsters, and we're not able to really just capitalize on the combo potential that we have for both of them. This also kind of shows that maybe I might need to find some other sort of way to get my monsters out. Missing that 1 Tenkey is really vital, although I am seeing an increase in the 3 visits. But comments aside, let's actually get into the duel. This hand is not bad, but it's also not the best, right? We have a 1-for-1 that I can only really use for Nerval. I have 2 Ancient Warriors, one that I can't really normal summon, but one I can special summon if I get 2 on the field. And then finally, I have a Cosmic Cyclone. Now, Cosmic Cyclone is really good because it does banish instead of destroying. I find that that's usually the better play in most cases. However, I think that overall, it's probably best for me to play something alongside Cosmic, at least some sort of Twin Twisters or something. I don't know why, but I just feel like we don't have enough back row destruction. And in the extra deck, the only cards that I really have that can get rid of my opponent's back row are the Darumidal and also Shureg. So we kind of need a little bit more when it comes to some back row destruction. Tornado Dragon's good, but it's not good enough for this deck, right? It's actually more of a hindrance in a sense. It's like I have to waste 2 monsters just to summon it. But either way, we still have kind of the advantage with Zhang De. He destroyed my field with the Dark Magician Quick Play spell card that destroys all your opponent's cards if you have Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl on the field. But we do have an out because our Zhang De has 2700 attack, so it'll be a lot harder for him to get over it, but unless he does something like summon Timaeus. Now, Timaeus has about an extra 100 attack on us, and unfortunately, again, it's like looking at this hand, I'm not really able to get what I really need. He's able to exceed both into the Dark Magicians and to Iban Illusion Magician. Both cards have more attack than what I have on the field. And not having a Changban in the grave really just sets me up for this. And this doesn't look like it's going to end well. Really have to depend on this one draw. If I could go into what I needed, I probably would have had a Nerval right there, but having the Reborn Tengu might save me as long as my opponent doesn't summon an extra monster. This Ritual card, this Chaos Illusion Magician, is really insane for Dark Magician cards. Like I feel like I really haven't seen most people play it, but the fact that it allows you to just to like get that one Dark Magician card either from, I believe it's from your grave, and then you just put it back on the top of your deck, you reveal it, it's kind of insane. I draw a Tensu, I can't really do nothing, end my phase, and this is going to give us our first loss for the day. The next duel that we have is going to be an interesting one, and this is kind of another advocacy for more back row destruction. So we start off with a fairly bad hand, I'm not going to lie. Dark Ruler No More is good, Called by the Grave is alright. Monster Reborn is good for my Reborn Tengu, but I really can't do anything. My opponent gets the Dark Bribe, but he also gets...
Old man! I fear I'm done. It is over. I am much too old to be
playing against Mystic Mine. He gets a Mystic Mine, and we got to face off against this. So this is going to be interesting. He gets the field barrier, and now I really just have to wait it out until I draw my my card. Oh. Really? Final countdown? Oh my gosh. Like, this is not a problem if this was a real duel. I feel like I'm just getting more annoyed at this type of deck just because I have to record it. I could have just surrendered here, but I also don't want to just give the easy win if I know that I have some outs in my deck. The unfortunate part here is, though, it's like I'm playing against Mystic Mine, not in person, but online, and it's so boring. Like, I don't know why. Maybe I guess that's the whole point. It's like once you see the Mystic Mine online, you can just easily quit. But like playing it, having to play against it, it just seems, I don't know, it just seems like very, very drawn out for no reason. So this entire duel, I can kind of just give it away. You can skip past this to the next part. This duel I lose. I'm not able to get my Cosmic Cyclones in time. I try to whittle down my deck, maybe like pushing some Searcher cards, but all in all, it doesn't work. The Cosmic Cyclones are somewhere down at the bottom of the deck. I think Nexus, not even Nexus, EDO Pro is somehow looking at my deck and just being like, all right, oh, your opponent's playing this and this. Let's make sure that you don't get the cards that you need. So I'm not going to be able to get my cards out. This duel is pretty much going to end with me losing to the final countdown. I'll try to see if I can get some extra monsters out, but I only have 3 turns. 2 turns is really all I would have needed just to win, but it's unfortunate. We're not able to get it. Super Poly is really useless in this duel. I guess if we were playing a match, we would have been able to switch out some cards, but there's nothing. Third duel, final duel, we are facing off against something that's actually meta, right? You know what that means, right? We can kind of act like MBT, and our third duel is a 1v1 against meta. So we activates Dimension Shifter and then go straight into the Floowandereeze cards, and my red flag immediately goes off. I've played against this deck a few times. I know how dangerous it can be with the Ryza the Mega Storm Monarch, or Ryza the Mega Monarch, whatever he's called. And I really don't want to like run into that. On the flip side, though, if this was the completed version of the deck, this really would be kind of like a mirror match, only because we can get out our Simorg, we can get out our barrier statue and lock both of ourselves. I believe, or at least to my knowledge, nope, I think the Flawandari's cards are not all Wing Beast, or maybe they are. And if they are, then that's going to be kind of insane. And what I meant to say when I said Wing Beast was they're not all Wind Wing Beast, which is true, which means that actually the Simorg combo might have actually stopped them. Either way, we're able to get off the Imperm, not allowing our opponent to get the cards that they need. Dimensional Barrier, or rather, Dimension Shifter is actually going to hurt us for a moment, but I am able to get some negates off, and thanks to the fact that I have both Lu Xuan and Zhuge Kang, I can negate effects and spell or trap cards. My biggest threat right here is getting rid of that field spell, because anytime that I normal summon a monster, he'll be able to normal summon in response to it. Now, thankfully, he doesn't have that Ryza in his hand, but we aren't taking any chances. We can't allow our opponent to get the cards that they need. Eaglin, I'm like kind of almost lost my crap because I thought he was going to add the Mega Monarch, but I guess the Monarch isn't a Wing Beast, which kind of works in our favor. M-Pen still is kind of a problem, and looking at our hand though, we do have some level of recursion, both with Reborn Tengu and with Raven. We can get the cards that we need. It's really just a problem now because I have no way of getting rid of his spell or trap cards. He activates a triple tactics talent, which again really just shows the strength of what meta can really do against this type of deck. It's not at its full potential, so cards like triple tactics, cards like Mystic Mind, right? Like we don't have enough back row destruction and we don't have enough response cards. I only have 2 Ash Blossoms in the deck. We have a significant need for a few more hand traps in here. But either way, we're able to start our turn. We get out the lock. The lock is able to hold us down. I'm kind of wondering why I can't activate my effects when it turns out M-Pen stops my monsters from activating their effects if they are special summoned in attack position. So, luckily, I was able to draw Dark Ruler no more. I'll be able to go into that and then finally kind of like pop off with the rest of my cards. That Monster Reborn is really going to come in handy. He has no response to the Dark Ruler, which is going to allow me to finally use Sun Mo's effect and really go into the cards that I need. He activates his trap card, summoning the monster. However, Dark Ruler still chains afterwards, which means that both of his monsters lose their attack points. I'm not going to be able to destroy any of his, or rather, I'm not going to be able to do any damage, but I will be able to destroy his cards. So that's kind of my main goal. If I'm able to attack, I get rid of the field spell. There's no reason for me to attack with the other 2 monsters. I'll activate a 3 visits. I'll activate Reborn just to get the Zhuge Kang. That'll allow me to get 1 extra card to my hand. And I'm going to go for the Zhougong. I can actually try to get out another spell card if I have Zhougong on the field. But with this, I feel like, you know what, let me just get some back row protection on top of like everything else that I need. In retrospect, I probably should have added Zhang De and then added Zhougong with the 10 key, but it's all good. Either way, we're able to wipe the field. Now we have Spell and Trap Destruction, we have some negation, and we also have some extra cards that we can special summon from our deck. I'll be able to get out the Jia Wen. Jia Wen is really just there, just in case he decides to attack my Lu Xuan. I'll be able to have the attack of 2 of his monsters. Actually, I really won't be able to do that. I'll be able to probably get one of my Spell or Trap cards back from the graveyard if we're able to get some sort of destruction there. Lu Xuan will allow me to draw a card. My field is pretty stacked at this point. Like, there's really not much that my opponent can do. They'd have to get past both my barrier, which is the Lu Xuan Sun Mo lock, but I also have other cards in defense position that really can't be attacked. And my Daruma is sitting at a nice 2100, so really, if he summons a monster, it can kill most of the other Ancient Warriors, but Sun Mo and Lu Xuan will really just prevent them from dying. So my opponent tries to summon a few more monsters. He's able to get out a few more Flawandaries. Still no sign of Ryza. So maybe I'm thinking at this point my opponent isn't playing the Ryza variant. But we're able to kind of just like wait it out. And as a result of us waiting it out, our opponent surrenders and we take the win. Alright, so we got 2 losses and 1 win. Really showing off the fact that we do need some extra cards for the deck. There's a lot of meta cards that we are going to need. There's a lot more packs we're going to have to open. This is not the end. Episode 8 is most likely going to come out in a few weeks, and then I'm going to try to see if I can get episode 9 out as soon as possible. I want to thank everybody again for supporting the channel, making sure that those that are here subscribe, make sure you like, comment, and even tell me, you know, what are some strategies that maybe I can add to the deck to potentially make it a little bit faster or a little bit better. But with that being said, my friends, I've been the Artist with a Fro. That, my friends, is the show. Thank you for watching episode 6, and I'll see you in the next one.